All right, what's going on? It's Bobby Skinner talking Giants. I'm doing your week 3 offensive line report, but it's a twist up this week. I wanted this to be a little different. I want this to be hit more of a national audience. Like, share this with your friends that are just football fans and not necessarily Giants fans, because I thought we got a matchup that you're not really going to see a lot in the NFL. You're only going to get it once every 4 years. That's Andrew Thomas versus Myles Garrett. And I don't watch Myles Garrett week in, week out, but I think this is the first time in a long time where he just didn't get help on him, right? It was just Andrew Thomas one-on-one. And as someone who is a huge Andrew Thomas fan, you guys watch these videos all the time. He dominates. He makes it look easy. This was his worst game since his rookie year. I think you can argue that it was his worst game if you don't, consider who the opponent was. This was a nasty matchup. So I want this should just be a football video and not just a Giants video. So we're going to go through all 18 snaps of Andrew Thomas versus Myles Garrett one-on-one. So let's get into it. First play, make sure to like and subscribe. Tell your friends about our, JM Football, our Football Today show. So first play, obviously we got Thomas at left tackle, Garrett out here. Wide alignment. It's a 3rd and long. This is a good job by Andrew Thomas. This is actually probably the best rep of the day for him. So you see Thomas get into his set. We got good proportion. That's exactly what we want. We don't want Myles Garrett to be able to use our hands against us. So we use this circle technique where we pull our hands, right? So now Garrett does what he's supposed to do. What Andrew Thomas invites here is the bull rush. So Garrett bull rushes. And I know this looks like the running back's helping, but he's not actually. But what he is doing is stopping Garrett from working around the corner. And you don't see this. I think this might be the only time, maybe one other time they gave running back help. So Garrett bull rushes, right? Or converts speed to power, has good leverage. Thomas gets that hop step, right? Both feet in the air. Both feet in the air. When you get that power, you get both feet in the air. Anchor. Do the hop step again. Anchor. Strain. Hand placement's really good. Good play for Andrew Thomas. Next play. Again, wide alignment. I think this single snap messed with Thomas for the rest of the day because he does not get beat inside. And he got beat inside their second matchup. So what Thomas does so well is he gets to that 3rd step. All right, we go 1, 2, and then we're reading off of that. So Thomas does a solid job of getting to that 3rd step. That's where you want to get. But the way that Garrett is able to get flat and so fast is just nuts. I mean, look how quick he does this. I mean, we're stepping off that right foot, off the hash, and the next step is 3 yards away. Just, right? So Thomas is not ready for that, right? He's ready to counter inside, but he's not ready for Garrett to time this up perfectly. So that right foot, instead of stepping down or keeping it horizontal with the line, it drops back, right? It drops back, and that allows a pathway to the quarterback for Garrett. He rips through that inside arm, forces Jones out, to run and make a throw. Good play for Myles Garrett. Next play. Thomas is going to work that circle technique versus the cross chop. This is a good snap for Thomas. Ignore the fact that, JOK got thrown into his hip. We set well here. Right, Thomas is showing hands. Garrett goes for the cross chop. Thomas pulls that hand. Right, so he's working that move on nothing. Gets the hands on the shoulder. Keep your feet moving. Garrett goes to the counter inside, and it's a good counter because of JOK getting into Thomas's hips, and a bad job by these two right here. But that's end of the day, that's a good snap by Andrew Thomas. Next play. He's going to get beat by the spin. Wham. Quarterback hit on Daniel Jones. We just overset, right? Garrett's working that corner. We don't want him to beat us to the corner. So we got 1 step, 2 step, 3 step. And that step right here, right? Where most guys, you could just put your hand in the small of their back and Thomas's hand is high and wash them around the corner. Well, Garrett feels that, right? Garrett feels that, and see him swat that left hand of Thomas over off of him. Thomas's momentum is working outside. Garrett, I mean, that spin is so compact. See how low we are to the ground. Attacking the back with our right hand. Burst, hit. I mean, that's just nasty. I mean, look how quick this whole movement is. Right? We are challenging upfield, right? Versus most tackles, he's just getting around the corner. We chop that hand off. We get low. We generate power with that spin. Bam, land a hit. This next play ends up being a holding call on Andrew Thomas. And this is where, actually, this is a different one. This is Garrett's counting with a spin again. So the next play is a holding. So you see Thomas, right? See how we're kind of speeding up our process? It's like, oh, shit, we got to get out there quick. Right? We want to cut this off. And Garrett's just able to bend. Right? Thomas is not able to get the hand on the small of the back of him. He spins again. Thomas is ready to go there. You know, not the best snap, but, you know, you take that against Myles Garrett. Like, that's a win against Myles Garrett. Ready to go. Reload your hands. Good job. This is the play where it's just nuts. This ends up being called a holding. Because the ability to bend with this amount of balance and strength is nuts by Myles Garrett. So first off, Thomas always gets to his landmarks, right? He always gets to his landmarks. But watch. 1, 2. On that third step, we're panicking. Like, shit, I gotta get going. I gotta move. Right? So I'm opening my hips up, and that allows a clearer path to the quarterback. Right? Instead of staying square, keeping your hips square and being right here, I gotta get my hips up and I gotta run. I gotta use my athleticism to push this around the corner. And most guys, this works. But the way that Garrett is able to bend, I mean, look at the way he's able to bend with that weight of Thomas on him. Right? And not to collapse. Where Thomas is literally trying to tackle him, holding him. And he's able to stay up. Is just, that's ridiculous. Right? And this is where I wanted to do this, not just about Andrew Thomas and New York Giants. Like, this is nutso shit from Myles Garrett. So, like, he gets to that corner, and there's been times where Thomas sometimes will get beat to the corner. And when a guy bends like this, right, it's just hard to keep your balance and stay moving like that. So what Thomas will do is he'll just put his weight on him, right? And you're allowed to do that, right? What you're not allowed to do is grab him and hook him. But if he's that low to the ground, you could just use, you know, that against him, push down on him, and put him in the dirt. But Thomas isn't able to do that, right? That's what he tries to do. But Garrett's just able to stay up, which is nuts, and then draw that holding call. I mean, that's just nutso stuff right here. All right, so now Thomas, again, don't want to get beat around the corner. But we are, right? We're opening up our hips. We're speeding up our process. We're going 1, 2, flip our hips. And this is where I think Thomas should have started vertically setting, but he didn't want to get beat inside. So we're opening up our hips, right? You don't want to be facing the sideline. It's an offensive tackle. You do not want to be facing the sideline. And Thomas, haven't seen him do that really since his rookie year. But he is. That gives you a better pass to the quarterback. Garrett rips through. Good. I mean, you see good athleticism by Thomas to stay on this and stop it from being a strip sack or a sack. But just good job by Garrett here. Next play. This ends up being a touchdown to Malik Neighbors. I mean, this is just a good counter by Myles Garrett because Thomas does a good job on this to start. Right, good pass set. That, you know, I talk about you don't want to be facing the line of scrimmage. These are the pass sets you want. 1, 2, 3. That's what you want right there. That's perfect proportion. That's exactly the proportion you want to have with the pass rusher. He works that one-arm bar. Thomas gets hands on him, anchors, extends, strains. Good job, right? But because Myles Garrett's so long and strong, he's got that one arm on there. He's got that chest plate, pull. And Thomas isn't used to dealing with someone who can work this speed and strength. So, like, he's leaning, right? You don't see Thomas lean often, but he's leaning because he is tired of getting beat by with power. Garrett takes advantage of that. Pull, dip, rip, explode. I mean, and lays a hit on Daniel Jones. And let's watch that again at full speed. I mean, that's nasty. I mean, that's just nasty football from Myles Garrett. I mean, Myles Garrett and Andrew Thomas, they're both fast and strong. You know what else is fast and strong? Race cars. You know what I like? DraftKings. A chill is in the air, leaves falling to the ground, and football every weekend. That's what fall is all about, people. You can make each weekend more exciting by getting to the action with our partners at DraftKings, the number one place to bet on touchdowns. Right now, all new customers who bet just $5 will instantly get $200 in bonus bets when you use code WORLD. Stay in on the action and use your $200 in bonus bets to bet anytime touchdowns on DraftKings. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. New customers use promo code WORLD and bet just $5 on any wager and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. That's promo code WORLD only on DraftKings Sportsbook. And you'll be glad you did. Don't you like that little, the DraftKings car? Don't you like that I just have that, right? I'm such a good guy that I have the DraftKings car. And back to the breakdown. All right, back to the breakdown. Next play. I mean, just the way Garrett's able to work inside is nuts. I mean, look how quickly. I mean, it's like he's teleporting. And you see the footwork is great, stepping off of the second foot, right? Like Parsons is so good at working outside in. He changes his stance to have the inside foot up, and he can move off that third step. Garrett's moving off of that second. Like, we have not overset, right? If anything, we've underset at this point. If you're Andrew Thomas, right? If anything, you're giving up the corner. You have not overset here. You're in great placement, great proportion. And he just, whoa. Right? When he's that wide. Like, what do you do against that when he's a line that wide? Like, you can't get hands on him. And he just works inside. Thomas isn't able to take that post foot and put it down. And ends up dropping back. Path to the quarterback. I mean, just get a little bit of a piece on him, allow DJ to get the ball to Malik Neighbors. Next play. Garrett's going to work some speed to power. Thomas does a decent job absorbing it. Again, Thomas invites that, right? These hands are wide because he wants to invite the bull rush because you guys want to work with speed. But this is why I was a little worried about this matchup because nobody works their power better than Myles Garrett in the NFL. But Thomas does a solid job of absorbing it, right? We duck walk back. Bang, bang, bang. But still, even there, like, he's able to open that inside shoulder, Thomas, right? He's able to push through that inside shoulder and, essentially affect the quarterback. Next play, down the 5-yard line. This is a quick drop for the quarterback, so you're willing to give up the corner. You see Thomas, 1, 2. And then on that third step, we're essentially opening up. Garrett goes to swipe hands off. Thomas does a good job. But, again, this is where Thomas is so athletic, right? He's so athletic. You put him in this position with basically any other D lineman in the NFL. So that's like maybe Micah Parsons. He's being able to wash this guy around the corner pretty easily because he's so athletic. Where Garrett's just able to just gain ground, man. I mean, he's just so quick. Gets around the corner, gets flat. Look at that bend. Thomas maybe could have got a call for holding on this one. I think that'd be a little ticky-tack. But at the end of the day, able to get him around the back end of the quarterback. But, you can't win like that consistently. Next play. Again, that wide rush. This is a good snap by Thomas. We're setting. Garrett goes to swipe those hands off. Thomas takes the hands, gets hands on him. Keep your feet moving. Ball's out quick. Good snap. Next play. Good job resetting by Thomas. Good proportion right here. So basically, the only go for Garrett here is to, try and go through him. Absorb, work that speed to power bull rush. So he does. He's got good leverage. Good job by Thomas to replace those hands. See, take that left hand, replace it back inside while keeping your feet underneath you. Ball's out quick, but he does do a good job, especially when having that left guard presence there too. Next play. Good hand fight from Myles Garrett here, right? Stop Thomas from getting his hands on you. And this is a really good pass set by Andrew Thomas, right? 1, 2, 3, bam. That's where we want to be. Right? Again, lunging a little bit from Thomas. You don't see that. But Garrett, man, his hands are just so quick. He takes that punch. He's able to grab his arm and stop Thomas from being able to get hands on his chest. To land a punch. So you get that arm up in the air. Now he's lost pad level. You have leverage. Keep your feet driving. You're affecting the quarterback a bit on that play. Next play. Quick throw. Again, Thomas willing to give the corner on this. But again, usually, right, we're 1, 2. We're not opening our hips, right? Let's compare the Jermaine Eleanor on the right side, right? Watch our proportion. That's usually where Thomas is. 1, 2, 3. This is the position you want to be in, not facing the sideline. Right? Like he's blocking for the same quick throw. But it feels like Garrett got in Thomas's head, man, where he abandoned some of his technique because he didn't want to overset and get beat inside. Right, so he doesn't want to get beat inside, but you are giving up the corner when you do that. And then Garrett, counters on the spin inside, but, doesn't land. Next play. This is where... Actually, this is not that. This is the same play. I just clipped it up. Both views. Wrong. All right, so here's the next play. So Theo's actually, the tight end's going to... One, you got to give a better chip than that. But the chip actually messes Thomas up on this. So now Thomas working that power, puts his head down, ducks his head on this, but he's expecting the tight end to, throw his shoulder and bang Garrett into him. So Garrett, wanting to avoid the chip, right? We're going to work inside. And Thomas, ducking your head. I don't care if you're supposed to get that help from the tight end or not. You can't duck your head. You can't, duck your head, lean, looking for, for that bull rush, looking to absorb power, because now your head's down. And Garrett just threw a little hezzy on you. Right? Throws that little hezzy of power, and then just so quickly transitions, get upfield, bend, force the quarterback to run up in the pocket. Force the quarterback to scramble. Next play. Garrett's going to get to that spin. Thomas does a good job recovering on this one. But Thomas, worried about that speed. I know a lot of this is repetitive, but it's good matchup, right? Thomas getting to a set, opening those hips, and Garrett feels that, right? Garrett feels that he's trying to work him around the corner. He's got good positioning to wash him around the corner. So let's spin out of it. Let's get low. Let's use that right hand to attack the back. Now Thomas does a good job of keeping his balance, keeping his core strength. Feet are in a good place. So he's able to move with it and pop up and and stop the counter despite the ball being out quickly. Good job here. And then the last place, I mean, Garrett's just going to rip that corner for a QB hit. I had a big hit too. Like, if you're going to keep giving me that corner, again, Thomas, man, get to that third step. 1, 2, keep proportion. Keep your hips square facing the end zone. We open it up, right? We open it up. We open up our chest because we don't want him using our punch against us. So Garrett, he's going to get low. He's going to take that left hand. He's going to rip through, and he's going to have bend. While you have your arm around his neck, he's going to bend and lay a hit on your quarterback. So this was just as, like, this is all pro versus all pro. This is, you know what? This is all pro versus best defensive player in the NFL, right? Maybe best player in the NFL and Myles Garrett. And the Giants, plan of attack somewhat worked offensively because Garrett didn't get any sacks, but they left Andrew Thomas on an island with Myles Garrett. And I would like to see people who watch Myles Garrett a little more consistently, Browns fans. How often does this happen where a team just says, go ahead, just, left tackle, go and block Myles Garrett? Because it can't happen a lot, or teams are reckless. But this was a really fun matchup. And you know what? I'm hoping these teams finish same place in their divisions next year so we can get this matchup in 2026. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like and subscribe to the channel if you're a Giants fan. If you're not, click on our channel. Go into the Jam Football channel. We have a Football Today podcast that we do on there. Put all our draft breakdowns and all that stuff. So appreciate you guys. We'll see you on the next one. Until then, let's go Big Blue. And go Browns too.